And we are live. Oof. Jeez, we're cutting that right on the needle there. Oof. Definitely got way behind today, guys. So I apologize for that. Um, was not my goal, but here we are. um, yes, Parallax, you are first. Congratulations. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like such a dick. I did not. Yeah, things did not go planned tonight. So oopsie poopsie. Um, so wait for a couple more people to come in. That was a yeah. Kat, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. No, I really do feel like it was bad. We were not on time tonight. Ah, so let's see if we get a little more people in here. Elaine, 4M, how you doing? Was the FBI raiding my home too? No, no, they were not. No, they were not. Apparently, my neighbors are still outside, so I'm going to close the window. That's always good news. So, late. No, I was on time. I've been on for 2 minutes so far, so I made it. Critter, how you doing? Hi, Uncle Bubba. Hi, Eric. Yeah, so we're just gonna wait, let everybody filter in for a minute, and then we'll get started. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. I did. Got some big things resolved and had a misdemeanor trial, and it's not a felony trial, but hey, I'll take it. And we won. So that was the good news. Wasn't a win. It was a hung jury, but that's a win for us. I mean, that counts. Late hitter, but flexible, referring to myself. Yeah, hi, Sweet Tooth. Hey, Carlos. So yeah, I'm hoping we get going tonight and have some fun. Yes, I agree. Let's have some fun and I don't know, learn something maybe. I forgot I gotta set these up in a way I can read them. The last two George Floyd cops rejected plea deals. Are they just morons? Um, I mean, can you blame them though? Really, at the end of the day, uh, you know, um, Graham, we'll do that one. I just saw this. Well, I'll do that as like a separate reaction video because I've got a bunch of them I need to get done, and I kind of slacked the past month. So I apologize for that. Like no real content except for the live streaming. But Mookie, you're asking about the last two cops in the George Floyd case. I think like that includes the one guy. It was like he was literally like his first fucking day on the job. Like, you know, I don't blame them because at some point, like, it is unfair to them. But yes, they're caught up in this. I don't know what they think is going to happen. I mean, yes, they should just take their pleas and deal with it. Life has handed them a crappy situation, and I mean, it's no different than if you're like, right, go out for a bike ride and some drunk driver hits you. Like that was kind of your turn on the barrel, man. No, you know, it just happens. Um, doesn't mean you have to like it. Doesn't mean anybody has to accept it because it still happens regardless. Um, uh, will I be covering Marcus Wilson next week? That would be my goal because I know as of right now, I think the Dumpster Bros are still set. And We're just gonna check that again. Because I know that probably Nick is gonna cover that, but I don't, there's no point in having two people do it. Um, but the issue with Marcus Wilson that was before, there was not a whole lot of, at least I couldn't find coverage for it. So if you guys know of like the local station down that way that's gonna cover it, shoot me an email with like who it's gonna be and what they're doing because I would love to cover it. Well, yeah, I think Dumpster Bros got pushed. Let's see. Um, let's see here. Okay, yes, the jury trial got for. Oh, you are correct, Parallax, and we're gonna share screen, Chrome tab. Yep, here we go. So what we've got is a couple things here. Well, actually, what is this? Defendant's election as the punishment. Oh, we don't have permission to view that document. Okay, whatever. We'll go back. Okay. So what happens here? So let's scroll down. Jury trial was reset to 8/22/22, but then there's here. It looks like it's still set. 8/22/22. Jury trial 9 a.m. It was reset. It appears to be the same date. So I don't know if it got pushed. Uh, I thought Ricada said it's put. If it was pushed back, I don't see anything on the record. Although, um, let's see here. Um, okay. Well, actually, here we go. Okay. Uh, I guess we'll share this here. Stop screen. One thing I wish you could do in StreamYard, if I had never figured it out. Um, oh, okay. So there's another murder trial scheduled. Um, okay. So yeah, I guess they're going to go on in 2023. So that is correct. I wonder if there's, because I will tell you this happens. Um, there are times where, like, if I have a trial going and it's set and there's another trial set to go, you don't find out till like the day before or the morning of who's going to trial. Just sometimes it happens if they're both big trials and they both have to go. You don't try to call them off too early because there's always ways things can resolve. So yeah, it might, but for right now, the court records show 8/22. So there hasn't been a date set yet, but I don't know if it's clear that's going to happen or not. So I would just say I put that in the maybe pile. Um, Marcus Wilson, though, um, that looks like it's still set to go. Um, so we shall see. So there was actually a plea deal in the Marcus case, and we can actually talk about that because that would be actually an interesting one to look at here. Um, actually, hold on, you guys are chugging along here. Yeah, Mookie, it looks like there's another case using the courtroom, but let's say that case settles like today or tomorrow. They could easily say, "Okay, Millers, you're up." So I don't know what's set, or I don't know how it was set because there's um if the court hasn't said anything yet, I mean, maybe the attorneys were told something different, but if I'm one of the attorneys on a case and I see the trial date hasn't changed, you better be prepared to, like, you better have your boots laced up and ready to rock and roll that day. Because unless the judge said something on the record, the journal entries and the last things on record are what you go by. So you can't You can't chance it. He has until tomorrow to see if they can come to a plea agreement. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about Marcus Wilson real quick. So back at the like 2 weeks ago now, um, they tried to reach a plea deal before it goes to trial. Um, so actually, I should probably put this back on the screen for everybody. Wilson's on long cucks. Okay, well then we'll do it. We will do it, and actually, that's some good news because I had a deposition had to get scheduled for Friday. Now that's gone, which is good news. So, what does my schedule look like next week? Um, well, Friday I am completely free, so we'll definitely be doing stuff every day, all day. I will be having to pop in and out on Tuesday. Sadly, I've got stuff I cannot get around, and on Wednesday I've got 2 hearings, but they're gonna be fairly quick, but I still have to do them, and they're in the afternoon, so hopefully we get through most of the good stuff. But we will do long cucks then, and we'll work with it and see what happens. If they come after me again, then fuck it, we'll do what we gotta do. Um, oh, we got a super chat here. AD for $2. Thank you very much for super chat. I appreciate it. Your support. Should Marcus Wilson bring up corpus delicti? Well, he does have a corpus delicti. There is an injured party. There is a dead body. So that person is the corpus delicti. Wait, Mike, are you saying they've got somebody who does like what I do on their streams? I hope not, because that's if they have somebody talking over me, that's just gonna be fucking awful. So Diamond Ashley is defending him. All right, she's defending Marcus Wilson? Like, are you I did not know that. And then oh wow, okay, that apparently is popping up. Let me see here. Sweet Tooth, let me know what trial you're talking about here because I don't know which one that is. Um, oh, oh, sorry, you're talking about Matthew Moore right now. Okay. Wow, you guys are all talking about stuff here, and I'm really confused right now. So, JC, how you doing? Okay, so she can defend Wilson. That'll be wait, Wilson, sorry, Moore. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was trying to. Yes, I knew about Matthew Moore. Yes, that's sorry. Okay, you're talking about Matthew Moore. Yes, I was a. Okay, hold on. We got to go back to this. Yes, Matthew Moore is a murder case down in Central Ohio. Um, it's actually very interesting. Um, so he killed her in 2020. Um, she was last seen in May. She was not found until September 16th. She was found hanging from a tree. So, yeah, it's a very interesting case. This week I was just way too busy to get involved in it. Sounds like you guys may have covered it. So, um, I'm confused because they're confused. Okay, thanks. Oh, we have a new member, Eric Wolf. Thank you very much, Eric. I appreciate it. Shaw, how are you doing? Long time no see, man. Long time no see. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Hope you're doing well. Um, Confusion still being my epitaph. Yes, Critter. So far from what I've heard of that as well, the defense is winning, and I've heard from some attorneys down in the Columbus area who have been following it and may have a little bit more of an inside scoop. Say it's looking really good. So, oh, sweet tooth, that's fine. There's no. Hey, it's okay to be confused. I was really like, what the heck are you talking about? Because I knew Diane was doing that trial down here. So, um, um, yeah. Oh, and Corn bringing this up. Yes, the Woodward Dream Cruise is up in Detroit. It's actually a really neat thing, Woodward Avenue. It's a one of the longer streets in Detroit, and people take traditionally it was like classic cars and old cars up there, but people take like brand new things up there too, really neat cars, and they cruise down the street. It's like a big car parade. It's really neat to see. Um, yes, artifacts. I'm cringe and that's based. I'll never be based, and that's not cringe. Yes. That's- That is pretty much my motto. If I could put that on a business card, I would. I don't think people would hire me for though if I did that. So it is yes, the Woodward Dream Cruise is very neat if you're out that way and you get a chance to see it. It's pretty cool. Um so I guess we'll move on now. That was 17 minutes in and we kind of covered two things at once that I have on the list. So that included the Marcus Wilson trial, the Dumpster Bros. Are you filing affidavits of truth? All I do is speak truth. So, um, uh, so we're gonna move on to, I guess, the big thing to talk about now. Is what went on with the president's uh search warrant and the raid that happened on his house. Once again, you claim, "Oh, it wasn't a real raid." Whatever, guys with guns showed up. So today there were motions that had been filed by Judicial Watch, which is a right-leaning group for judicial accountability and government accountability and transparency, and they had filed a motion to have the search warrant affidavit unsealed. Now I know we talked about this before, but I guess we'll kind of recover it again. There's two parts to when you get a warrant. If you're the police, the warrant itself, but what you bring with the warrant to the judge to see. Yeah, sorry, the feds got to me. The feds got to me there. Um, okay. So we'll go sorry, Eric, yes. Dumpster Bros are probably getting pushed back, but the docket doesn't say that yet. But from what everybody's saying, it sounds like that's going to happen, but we won't know for sure. So, So in our Fulmar, thank you for asking this question. I'm going to get to this in a second. So guys, I know we got a little laggy there and everything screwed up. Talking about the Trump warrant. So Judicial Watch, I'm going to start over basically. Judicial Watch is a right-leaning group. They're about judicial and governmental transparency, and they do it through lawsuits and FOIA requests. And what they're allowed to do is they're allowed to file a motion to intervene saying we demand to see what's in the warrant application. Now, with a warrant, there's two parts to it. There's the actual search warrant you give to the judge and they sign off on it, giving you the authority to go search. What's included on that warrant is a time, place, and thing you're looking for. So I'm looking for it here. I'm looking for specifically this, and it's related to this issue. There's got to be particularity to it. The application is kind of it's also known as an affidavit, depending on what court you're dealing with. It is basically the why you're getting the warrant. Why are you asking for it? What can you show? And why is this happening? Why do you think this is necessary? Who do you think, what crime do you think was committed? So it would start off by saying, and generally speaking, you would start off by saying, the person applying is, some sort of law enforcement official. They have experience and training. That you list out some of their training, you list out some of their experiences. And then you start off by then articulating, I believe that in this case, President Donald J. Trump has committed actions that I believe are, violations of the Espionage Act, the Presidential Records Act, whatever act you're claiming has been violated or whatever laws have been violated. And then you would lay out that starting around January 1st of 2022, a person informed, the FBI that records are being kept in the house and they were top secret. This, confidential source said Donald Trump said, Lamau don't care. And then there would be an entire story basically laid out of this law enforcement official recounting everything that happened and going point by point by point in a bunch of numbered paragraphs. And each paragraph is fairly specific to that issue. And then it moves on to another paragraph. You keep them kind of sparsed. It's not like reading a book, but it can be very detailed at times. And this is the type of thing, though, that would be for what they use for the former President Trump. But let's say you're raiding a crack house, or you're looking for a guy who's got child pornography on his computers. Sources, believe that, neighbors of so-and-so said they happened to actually observe him watching what appeared to be child pornography through a cracked window because his blinds weren't drawn fully. And they saw it from their second floor. There's actually a case of this that I know of, and there's involved an attorney who got caught looking at cheese pizza. So that's where it goes from. That's how you start about it, and they detail the investigation, what steps they took. Now, in this case, because supposedly there is classified material, there's probably going to be things that are redacted in that, or things that are going to be secret that nobody will get to know, at least until the very end, and maybe even not then. It's a weird thing with national security cases. So anyway, Judicial Watch wanted it unsealed. The DOJ came in and said, no, we can't just give you the thing willy-nilly, but we would like a chance to redact some things. And this is, Viva Fry actually went down to the hearing and he recounted it. And the magistrate said, sure, but I need to see the proposed copy of what you've redacted. And then I'll decide if that's good enough. Now, notice that the other party involved, Judicial Watch, doesn't get a say. It's the prosecutor and the judge still engaging in ex parte communications over something sealed. Now, if the DOJ is agreeing to provide it, that should be good enough and everybody should see it because ultimately it is their case. But, we'll see what happens there. Certainly, with all these drips and drops, nothing's really standing out as like very critical yet. So I'm curious to know how much of a redaction we'll see going forward. They won't unseal because there was a confidential informant. We don't know if it's a confidential informant. The person may have identified themselves and they may not have been promised anonymity. It might say in there, it could say like Jared Kushner, or it could say like Ivanka Trump. It could say any number of things. It could say Barron Trump. It could say Mike Pence. It could say Donald Trump himself. He said this at a press conference, so we took note of it. We don't know the information yet. Generally, if it involves a confidential informant, it'll say person identified as CI, and they, we use their codes for that. Such and such is a confidential informant. We know that they've had this knowledge. We know that they're a senior person in former President Trump's administration, is a close confidant, has access to these documents, has seen them in person. That's how they would talk about a confidential informant. So at that point, the identity is not an issue because it'll be like confidential informant number 45. Well, that doesn't mean anything otherwise. Yes, Eric needs to release the tapes. Yes. Supposedly, the FBI asked that the surveillance videos got turned off before they did the search. A little bit sus to me because what do you have to hide, FBI? It sounds like, though, at Mar-a-Lago, they kept the cameras running, and Eric Trump says they have the tapes. And if they do, by God, release them things, bro. I want to see what happened. Oh, no, a lot of Fs. Yeah, I'm catching up here, guys. Yes, the FBI just raided me. YouTube cut me off, they know. Just another 90s kid that loves memes. I love that. That's an awesome name. What do I think? I'm Nick Ricada. I'm not allowed to freeze. Yeah, Eric, I use StreamYard. I don't use OBS or Streamlabs because those are a little like above my ability to like operate on. I'm kind of a boomer. F for feds. The feds, do I mean my dementia? No. Yes, I got past the feds. Congrats on the hung jury, Sean. Thank you. How hung were? Oh my gosh, you guys. Yeah, well, if you ask my girlfriend, she would agree with that statement, Sean. Trump definitely said Lamau when the safe was empty. Yeah, because he had referenced the safe, and yes, it sounds like they searched the safe and there was nothing there. You know, like I said, I honestly don't think this is really going to turn into much. Yeah, I think. Well, I think I said Kushner at that point. The informant, Hillary Clinton. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that obvious. What doesn't the FBI have to hide? A lot. I mean, remember, guys, the FBI started in the 20s by Hoover. And Hoover used it as his personal blackmail operation up until his dying day. Collected stuff on everybody. If you guys ever watch Man in the High Castle, where Hoover becomes head of the Nazi secret police in America, yeah, that's pretty much, he would have fit right in. He operated it just like the Cheka and the Gestapo. It's just he had good PR, so nobody ever really realized how crooked the FBI was up through the 70s. The feds brought a safe cracker, spent an hour for an empty safe. Well, if they were told and they believed it was there, they're going to do that. And also, they brought a safe cracker because they can't just go in and like saw off the hinges to his safe to get into it because they're not allowed to destroy property. If they destroy property, that becomes a takings issue under the Fifth Amendment because Trump would be deprived of his safe. Probably the best safe in the world. Nobody else has a better safe than me. It's such a safe. It's so safe. I can't do it. But yeah, that's what Trump would say about a safe. They don't make them better than this. He would be entitled to compensation. Did the Pinkertons become the FBI? I mean, not officially, but yes. I mean, they did, they did a lot of things that the Pinkertons did, although the Pinkertons mainly were used as kind of like an informal, private military corporation in the sense they were a private police force that would do whatever the hell you paid them for. So, the FBI didn't just operate on behalf of big business, but they operated on behalf of Hoover and the government. And yeah, they operated as a force unto themselves. So, yes, it's a huge safe. Jim, Jim's good to see you. They are going to have a major problem because they use surveillance video of two lawyers who are designated by Trump and Jeremy to go to the docs. The excuse they lied. They might. You're totally right. That might be the case. I mean, this is like I said. The problem is we don't know what we don't know, and I know you guys probably don't like hearing that from me, but this is no different than if you come into my office and I have this happen a lot. Hey, I'm probably going to get indicted. Okay, for what? Well, I think I did X, Y, and Z. Okay, well, and I try to ask, like, were you arrested? Do you know what they seized? No, they came in and took a bunch of stuff. Okay, well, did they do a warrant? Yeah, and did they give you an inventory? Sure. Where's that? I lost it. Well, what do you think you got charged with? Okay, great. And even then, when you get indicted, um, I have a rough idea probably of what they have to get to an indictment, but I still don't know about it till I get to discovery. So if you don't really know what's happened on your end, I can't really give you an answer because we don't know the whole picture yet. So I would agree. I think this is a little specious. I would argue, and I think I said before the first time when we looked at the warrant, all any and all records. Well, any and all records are not, confidential or secret. And under the Presidential Records Act, there's fights all the time between presidents. And they also have like a 5-year grace period to give things to the archive. So there's that issue, but also there's also it seems like a general warrant, which you're not allowed to do. Um, so I do have concerns about it. And also, yes, I don't trust the FBI because less than 5 years ago, they got caught lying on a FISA warrant and nobody apparently seemed to catch it until the very end. So, um, yeah, it could very well be the case. Well, no, yes, Pinkerton still exists, like the agency still exists, but it wouldn't surprise me a lot of those scumbags joined the FBI because Hoover wanted people like that in his, on his payroll. So, you know, I guess, maybe I'll have to do something about the Pinkertons because that's not something everybody. You guys are asking some questions here. Um, so the Pinkertons were more mercenaries. Well, the Pinkertons were used like they do your bidding if you paid them. Um, I mean, they also paid all kinds of people to do stuff as mercenaries and, violent people. And the railroad wanted to come through your land and you didn't want to sell. Well, they'd send the Pinkertons or some hired guns they have to come burn your house down and kill your family. And then they could just come through. So, yes, the Pinkertons don't have the best reputation because they were not good people. They were used as strike breakers. They were, and not necessarily just breaking a strike, but violently. They were involved in the Pullman strike. They were involved in suppressing that. The whole situations in the 1800s involving the Molly Maguires, which were Irish miners who were engaging in a campaign against the coal companies, setting off bombs and, there American labor is actually a very interesting history up until about World War II. A lot of bombings and shootings and fightings. It was actually a very turbulent time, up from the beginning of the Industrial Revolution until World War II. I mean, basically the 100 years since the Industrial Revolution occurred. It was very interesting in America, to say the least. So, if you ever want to read about it, it's very interesting. You don't have to look at it from one side or another because there was all kinds of crazy shit that happened. Um, so, um, hold on, wasn't Elliot Ness FBI? No, he was a Treasury agent. So he worked for the Department of Prohibition. Basically, Elliot Ness was a revenuer. So no. Um, so yes, original FBI agents were Pinkertons. They used all kinds of people. They would bring in Texas lawmen. If you guys watch Public Enemies, the guys who killed John Dillinger were a couple of Texas, former Rangers. If you watch the Highwaymen like Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson, that happened too. Where when they had to fight the bad guys, they brought in hired guns for it. But yes, Hoover did bring in people he could train and mold and make corruptible. But the Pinkertons were guys that could do that too. So wasn't just them. Um, the Pinkertons became the Secret Service. Well, yeah, kind of in a way, but the Secret Service became its thing, especially after Lincoln got killed. It's because we all play Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, Jim, you're right. There is court precedent that the president is the only one who decides that what are presidential records. But there is a lot of case law out there also, though. If you generate it during the course of your thing, that there are things that are clearly presidential records. You can't just say everything's your papers because that's clearly not. And the Clinton tapes is kind of bullshit because I would argue those were probably presidential records. But no, this happens. It's an ongoing thing. It's happened, since 1978 when the act was signed. Every president has argued over something is theirs and not a presidential record. Um, the heyday of the Pinkertons was during Lincoln and after as strikebreakers a long time before the FBI started. No, I mean, up until the beginning of the 20th century, the Pinkertons were still in full force doing what they did, being goons. I mean, they were up until, through World War One. And the FBI started in the 1920s. So there really wasn't a lapse in time there. And, you get to the 20s, there was the Red Scare and labor issues were still bad. And you have like the Battle of Blair Mountain where coal companies were bombing people with airplanes. Whether or not you think that was right or based or wrong, I mean, the 1920s were a turbulent time, if you were poor and in labor. Well, you guys are. You know what, Jim? I'll shoot you an email on that. Okay, that'd be interesting. Um, Walker, Texas Ranger. Yeah, they're gonna have him jump kick people. That's how John Dillinger died. Somebody did a jump kick to his face and killed him. Um. Oh yeah, we'll get to that. We'll bring that up too at the end for some lightheartedness. Wrestler Town. I think a video on the Pinkertons would be cool. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. I don't think he should have any papers. Assume you're talking about Trump. What government papers will become personal property? Try that as an employee. It's different though when you're the president because you are generating things, and the presidential libraries, like Nixon, Bush, Reagan, all those presidential libraries have their documents in them, and they actually work with the National Archives. There are, you get to see documents and things the president wrote. Now, like, yes, if he writes on a note, like, if Reagan wrote Nancy a note, like, "Dear Nancy, I love you very much. Sign Ronnie," you know, that's not a presidential record. Like, that gets to go. Or if he's sitting there drawing like some big, like, dinosaur with a big wiener, like smashing Russian buildings and burning down the Kremlin in the middle of a briefing, that wouldn't become a presidential record necessarily. Now, if it was on the back of a top secret missile plan and he was doodling on it, that would be a presidential record. But there's a million pieces and parts to this, and there's more than I'm willing to admit. I don't know. I truly don't know the full scope of the law there. But when you go to these libraries, there are still documents. Like if you go to Reagan's presidential library, there's crap there. You can't see it all because it's not all always on display. And people sort through it and go through it. And some of that you need clearance for because some of it would be classified. The bonus army used the military against the vets, no Pinkertons. That is correct, George Washington. And yes, and the bonus army is a whole nother issue. Because yes, it was MacArthur and Dwight Eisenhower and his aide de camp, Dwight Eisenhower, Major Eisenhower, clearing them out with bullets and tear gas. Yep, the OnlyFans girl was recently charged with murder. Yeah, I saw that. I think I'll probably do something about that coming up because it does seem like it took a long time. Um, the IRS shit is fake. Well, we'll see. Um, Critter, are you talking about the thing where they're like practicing with the guns and everything? I mean, it could be. You never know. Waiting to see when the sex bots invade. Oh, I think we all want to see the sex bots invade. I mean, who doesn't? They're sex bots. Um, um, hold on here. Wait, what? George Washington and the place is literally protected by the Secret Service. Um, yeah, are we talking? Yeah, it's yes, and yes, and Mar-a-Lago is protected by the Secret Service. Yes, you're correct. He does have Secret Service protection, and even if he didn't have Secret Service protection, Trump has a fairly decent security detail. I mean, even without Secret Service, man, his guys come to play. So he's got some pretty good dudes. Um, yes, Patton was also involved with the bonus army. 100% correct. 100% correct. Um, these bullets dipped in tear gas. I don't. uh, OnlyFans girls worse than Amber. Um, I hope not. It was funny. Not sure. I hope it was funny because I'm not sure what you're talking about. Um, oh, the hiring thousands and arming them. Well, I don't think they would arm every single one of those people, but they're going to be arming a lot of people. And there's video of supposedly some of them going through training, which, yeah, we'll talk about that. Um, it took a while because of going after the OnlyFans girl. Yeah, she didn't have ties to Epstein. Jeez. Yes. Oh, and yes, that might be something to talk about. I was going to do a separate video on. Yes, the FBI determined that Alec Baldwin did in fact shoot the gun, which I think we all found under no duh, back when it happened. So, uh, um, yeah. So, actually, wow, holy cow, we're only 40 minutes in. Jeez. Um, so you know what? We might just do where is it? $40 minutes already. Time flies, huh? Uh, hey Dubs. Jeez. Um, so yes, the Send Bachelor's flag isn't considered MVE, right? Um, at least not yet, but give it time. Give it time. Um, give it time. So everyone who uses the Venmo Cash App for donations or just uses it often and receive money are going to get a letter from the IRS. It's possible. I mean, I use Venmo and Cash App. I use Zelle. A lot of it actually makes it very easy for people to pay. Because then I don't have to I got to go to the bank. No, you don't. Here's my Cash App. Here's my Venmo. And there's transactions of it. And what I usually do then, if they send me a payment, I make a mark it as a payment. I get a Cash App notification. I screenshot it and I text it back to them as a receipt in the meantime until I actually get a chance to make a receipt or an invoice. So no, I use it all the time. A lot of attorneys do nowadays. So yeah, it kind of sucks. Um, the Gutierrez Reed defense is complaining the FBI didn't check the bullets for fingerprints. Do they have a point? No, I mean, because ultimately Hannah Reed was the armorer. She was the one in charge. They took the guns, left them on a cart, and she just fucked off. It's her job. The buck stops with her. And she didn't check those guns again before they started. She should have been doing that. Other people still screwed up, sure, but she was the one who screwed up. She has the biggest screw up. She could have stopped this. Um, yeah, they did a recreation video. I gotta find it. If we can find it in the meantime. The videos and pics of the IRS were from the job fairs. Jim, are you talking about the one where they all stack up, like if they're at a hotel and they stack up and go into a room? Because that's the one I was thinking about people were wanting to see. Um, Taxation is theft. Yes, it is. Very much so. He should have checked it when he picked it up. Even then, it does. Alec Baldwin has no idea what he's doing. It should have been the armor handing out firearms and ensuring that nothing was going to happen because that is how the industry does it. You're told, here's the ammo. It's fake. Listen to it rattle. Bloop, you put it in the gun, close it up, and give it to them. And that's how they do the scenes. But they didn't do it that way because they were half-assing it. So, no, if she had been doing her job right, that wouldn't have been an issue at all. Damn IRS going to come after my quarter worth of dividends from failed meme stocks on Cash App. I don't know. I hope they don't come after me either because yeah, I ate some shit when AMC didn't hold the line. I died on that mountain. So yeah. What if it comes out that Alec put the live round in the gun? I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, the prosecutor has already basically barfed out all the evidence and things from their investigation. It happened a couple of months ago. There was a big document dump. That's how we've seen all the interviews so far. When they do stuff like that, it's because they're not looking to prosecute. So I don't think it's ever gonna, if that were to ever happen though, then sure, I think there would be grounds to say that is murder or seriously manslaughter or but Alec Baldwin's never going to say that. So I don't think there's any proof that would ever happen. She didn't check the gun because she wasn't even there. Yeah, exactly. She wasn't there to check him. She left him on a cart and then just walked off to go do whatever the hell it was she was doing. And then, yeah, they were doing target practice and plinking they were using the prop guns and putting live ammunition through them. And the live ammunition was near the fake ammunition. And that stuff should not even be within 10 miles of each other. But once again, people actually use guns and do guns around guns a lot, would have known that. But you get a bunch of people who don't do this for, anything seriously and people die. So. Taxes are for patriots. Well, you have the ability to deduct and have a way to pay as little as you can to the government. Because if you overpay the government, they don't ever cut you a check for interest. But if you underpay them, you owe them interest. Kind of weird how that works. Yeah, one of the other producers handed him the gun. Yeah, they did. But once again, if the armor was doing her job, she would have made sure that that was not going to happen. It's like, no, I hand out the guns. The emails were very sus. She was only allowed 8 days to perform armor tasks. That's where you say that I'm not doing the job. If your job, her job is to be safety minded and safety conscious. And if they won't let her do it, then she should walk and she should voice her concerns, not just go with it. She's the chief safety officer. Wasn't the armor in Dr. Remo, anyways, thank you for commenting. Wasn't the armorer sorry, I'm trying to, and all the secondary people kept out of the filming room because of COVID restrictions. Yeah, that was the ultimate issue. And yes, They were so worried about COVID and still somebody died. And then, yes, there were all the jokes. Is this going to be a COVID related death? Jim, I'm reminded of the 3 rules of survival in a totalitarian system: verbal and never in writing. It's always true. Always use cash, no paper trail. Always a good idea. And 3, keep your mouth shut and never talk to the cops. Yes. Weapons should not be in movies unless in historical documentary purposes. Okay, I don't know if I agree with that because there's some good movies out there. Just should be done safely and properly. Courtney, I wouldn't have trusted that armor to roll my joint. Um, Live ammo shouldn't be on a movie set, period. You're right. It shouldn't be within miles of that set. But once again, they were fucking around. So sadly, somebody paid the price. I don't understand why they don't use gas blowback airsoft guns in movies. Just CGI the muzzle flash in. Because it's still, no matter what you do, you still can't beat au natural. I mean, that is an issue at the end of the day. If you can afford to do it as authentically as possible without CGI, then you would do that. And actually, in that situation, it might have been a little cheaper than doing CGI. Sounded like your dad was the armor. No, he had nothing to do with the set. He basically, it was a nepotism thing. She got a job because of her dad. Tarkina Meyer, is this when we start saying feds in the chat? Oh. Also, this is a period film, yes. They're glowies. Mark Robert said on every movie set it is done. They shoot guns and fuck off. You know, and I haven't watched America's Untold Stories lately. But if they do that, I mean, I watched a bunch of the Alec Baldwin stuff they were doing, him and Eric Hunley. Then those guys deserve what they get, and I'm surprised more of them don't get injured. But once again, that just shows you people screwing around who truly don't understand what they're doing. Along with being in front of a gun and not insisting on checking it first, I don't blame her though. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to be around and he's whipping a gun out, I'd ask that it get fixed. Um, Sean, what are glowies? Okay. I mean, like, are you talking about when we were talking about with the feds and stuff? Um, I mean, hold on here. I was gonna say, did they release their findings here? Things Alec Baldwin. Um, oh, there's a new member. Tarkina Meyer, thank you for being a member. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Problem was the armor didn't know anything much about anything. She claimed Starline brass is only used for blanks. Yeah, Starlight sells a bunch of brass. They sell it in all kinds of calibers, and you can do what you want with it. Yeah, she didn't seem very big on it. She was worried about like taking Instagram pics. So you're asking what glowies are. Okay. Glowies are like undercover federal agents or people who are government provocateurs. It's the idea they kind of glow because they're trying to encourage sketchy stuff to happen. So you can almost just see them glowing. It goes back to I think somebody on 4chan called them glowies or said they glow, and it kind of stuck. So that's what glowies are, or people who fed post. Yes, if you look up CIA Terry on YouTube, it'll answer your questions. Yes. No, you said that a minute ago. You don't have to answer. Even if he gets off the hook, criminally, he's going to have a legal problem because civilly he still shot somebody and he still killed them. So um, he's still going to have to answer for that. And he's still liable for that. So he's going to be on the hook for that. So hopefully, you'd like to see him have to cut a big check out of this, but we shall see. Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I forgot that's the original story. Terry Davis said the CIA um, bingers glow in the dark and you can run them over in your car. Yes. But yes, it's government agents and governmental actors who are trying to cause problems and sow discord and discontent. Um, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Oh, I baited him unknowingly. um, Civilly, he was one of the producers, so he's going to get charged. Yeah, he'll get sued because of he's being producer, but he's also going to get sued because he is the guy who went like this and went boom. So he's going to get sued in his role as a producer, but even as an individual, this is one of the times where the person you're suing does have a pocket full of cash. So he is somebody you can go after. So yes, he'll be gone after as the producer, but he's also going to be gone after as the guy. So, um, so we shall see what happens there. Um, so, Graham, is you're asking Marissa Alexander? I think she's the woman in Florida who claimed she fired a warning shot. I think that's the reason why she got charged with all that stuff. That was a long time ago. Um, and that's the issue because she said she fired a warning shot. So, no, if you're going to fire a gun, there is no warning shots. You are firing to, put holes in that person. You may miss and that's fine, but you never fire a warning shot. Um, so yeah, that's where we are. So I still run Temple OS still. Okay. Um, so he's getting double sued. Well, he's getting sued in multiple capacities. So, and that's not an issue in a civil case. Um, Jim's asking, "Do you see the latest news out of the Whitmer trial? Um, the FBI told Michigan State Police saw the protesters into the Michigan Capitol. Yeah, yes, I did see that, and we are still um, dealing with. And if you guys remember, and I did a video on this back on the collapse of the Whitmer kidnapping plot. The four guys on trial went to trial. Two of them were acquitted, and two of them had hung juries. So there was a mistrial, and they got retried, and they're retried right now. Today, the prosecution rested their case, and now it's going to be the defense's turn coming up. So didn't want to comment on it too much yet because the trial is still going. But, this time around, they did talk about the FBI being involved in working with the Michigan police, allowing protesters to come into the Michigan Capitol building. Now, there wasn't anything like allegations of them storming it, but a lot of armed people came into the Michigan Capitol building, back when everything was going on. No more movies for him. He may have to do movies to satisfy his judgment. So, it is annoying that like the medic on the set is suing him for PTSD and stuff. Well, it all depends. I mean, yes, generally we're gonna say, okay, this sounds like a bunch of bull crap. Nobody really suffered from PTSD. This is somebody just trying to milk it. But remember, you are a medic on a movie set. You are probably like an EMT. You're not like a Green Beret medic. You're not, like an actual trauma doctor. You're somebody with some basic, you're an EMTB. Somebody like you got hired locally to come out and do it. You're not making a ton of money. And you're just sitting there minding your own business. And so some lady basically gets her head blown off right in front of you and dies and just bleeds everywhere. That can be traumatic for people. So he may have caused PTSD possibly. Do I think it's ambulance chasing? Sure, but it could be actually true. Medics, yeah, but in this case, the medic's going to be there to fix boo boos and like a broken leg. Wasn't for like somebody getting a hole put through their chest. Yes, Helena Hutchins' husband is an attorney in a very big law firm. I forget which one, but yes, it's not like they were eating SpaghettiOs once she died. You know, you don't do warning shots. You just shoot your shots. What is a warning shot? Seriously, like a shot in the sky. It could be a shot in the sky. You might shoot at the ground. I've seen cases where people claim like they shot next to the person, like they said, like boom. So they shoot like the car behind them or something behind them or near them, so they understand like the next one's coming for you. That's there's multiple ways you can do a warning shot. None of them are good. KTB, yes, thank you. Well, I'm glad you're here. Glad you made it. Yes, the ground, hopefully. But even remember, even if you shoot at the ground, that can still ricochet. The ground doesn't just automatically eat bullets. Yes, the floor, the wall, the sky. Yes, he's going to be like Nicolas Cage, just doing movies to pay off his tax bill. Didn't Marcus Wilson fire warning shots? And that's where it turns like if that's because I don't know the true totality evidence, but yes, if it sounds like he's like I just fired to scare him away and he hit somebody, then yeah, he's going to be in trouble explaining why what happened. So that could be an issue for Marcus coming up, and we'll learn about it at trial. Now I will mention you guys if they're doing jury selection, I'm not going to cover that because jury selection is snooze-tastic, and yeah, I don't. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Warning shots are admissible to beta males that they should shoot in the air or something to scare another person. Anyone knows guns knows that is stupid and dangerous. Yeah, but not everybody knows guns. So yes, if anybody out there's watching, don't do a warning shot. You're pulling out a gun and you're gonna use it. You better try to air condition that person you're dealing with. Sure, we'll just do a recap for you, Stabby. No problem at all. If warning shots became precedent in court, wouldn't that be bad? Yes, it'd be horrible. Because then you have people just discharging firearms randomly, and that's a danger too. So no, warning shots will never become part of things because they've never ever Now I will say in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, Krause tried to make an argument. It sounded like he was saying, well, why need to do a warning shot instead? Which really blew my mind because there you have a prosecutor saying you should do something illegal, even suggesting it. That's why, I'm surprised that, Richards probably isn't a gun guy, neither was Sharfizi. I'd have been like, objection, Your Honor, and they need to go up there. He can't say that because now he's encouraging people or, he's encouraging our client to have committed another crime to avoid committing a crime, which you can't do that. That doesn't work that way. who was the fat guy? Oh, you're talking about Boogie, the big fat internet guy? I mean, bigger than me. Yes. Yeah, he did. He fired a warning shot and that went off near a school because he lived near a school. Yeah. Um, fuck Fulmar. You know, be like Bubba and shoot the jukebox you were aiming for. Hey, if it played a sad song and made you cry, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I don't blame Bubba. Um, Marcus Wilson is charged with aggravated assault and felony murder. By that logic, is it possible to shoot someone and not have it be murder? Um, yeah, I mean, if I shoot you in the foot and I'm clearly, could I get charged with attempted murder? Maybe, maybe not, but I could get felonious assault out of that. There's times where you could shoot someone and get just charged with causing serious bodily harm, but that even in Ohio, that's like 2 to 8 years in prison. And the fact you used a gun, a judge is probably going to send you to prison. Um, Julia, I'm waiting for Racket to share the update about Dominic Black to go full Binger slur explanation edits. Well, there's actually a guy who he's actually kind of covers this stuff. His name's Johnny Walker Dread, and he's kind of plugged into the whole he's kind of plugged in with the whole Kenosha area. In fact, he routinely has on Nate DeBruin. He has Granbo, Kevin Matheson, the Kenosha County Eye, the Private Eye. All those guys are routinely on his channel. I'm going to plug him here. Anyways, he does a video that a lot's been going on for a lot has been going on in Dominic's world. Dominic's been going through a lot of tough stuff. And I don't know if you guys know about it, but a lot has been going on. So I mean, Dominic is actually Dominic's having some problems. Had some problems with substance abuse and is in jail currently right now. And I guess as of a couple weeks ago in July, he actually had an overdose. I was reading through a bunch of this stuff, but he was hassle doctrined. Jesus. Ag biochemist. I drop penises in the back of nuclear papers. Jeez. Dominic the Rat Black. I don't think anybody was Critter. I think we're talking about Dominic Black, not like blacks. We're talking about Dominic Black. Um, yeah, Dominic Black is having a rough time right now. Yeah, no, I know that, but I mean, you guys mentioned Dominic Black. I thought I'd bring it up in case people were actually wondering because somebody mentioned Dominic Black. Things have been going pretty rough for the guy. Um, he got in bed with Binger. Fuck him. Um, even Kyle, I don't think holds it against him. It was a shit situation for everybody. But as far as I know, this is actually and I'm not usually keen on sharing stuff, but I know Johnny Walker Dread. I just put Johnny Walker's link over here, and I'll probably put it in my description. Yeah, Dominic's had a lot going on in his life. They're trying to get some stuff put together for him, and yeah, things aren't going very well. So if you want to donate somebody, you do whatever you wish, but he might need it. So yeah, Dominic Black has a give send go, and yeah, raised $80,000. Hopefully that helps him out. What does Binger mean? Okay, Gabby. Binger is a word Nick Rekieta uses. In I don't know if you've seen it where he reads the unbreaded stuff, the crazy black guy who wrote the like massive schizophrenic manifesto. Well, he uses a lot of ethnic slurs and racial slurs. Instead of using the N word, he uses Binger in reference to Thomas Binger, the prosecutor in the Kyle Rittenhouse case. So he uses that to, pick and make fun at him, but also that way he doesn't have to scream the N word because he reads the guy's crazy ramblings and like he'll use the N word like 40 times on a page. Um, so, um, oh, okay, Critter. I'm sorry. Yeah, I caught up to you. Yeah. So, guys, we'll just leave that be for what it is there. And, Eric, he did, but these are like a couple of 19-year-old kids. They're gonna, it could easily get pressure put on them. And at the end of the day, he did help Kyle. He stood true to his buddy. I mean, he was gonna get forced to talk anyway. And they tried to hem him up on charges, and thankfully he skated. Um, so Unbreaded is pleading insanity. Yeah, well, it makes sense that he's pleading insanity because he sounds pretty insane. Um, how dare I refer to the Holy Text as a schizophrenic manifesto? It was yeah, it is what it is though. I mean, if you've actually read it, I've read through good portions of it when I was bored one day. Yeah. I mean, he makes Uncle Ted look perfectly reasonable. Yeah, I feel bad for Dominic Black. I do too. Thomas Binger was a sorry excuse for a human. Yeah, exactly. Um, Launder Clips, super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate your support. Um, Thank you for sharing, and I agree with you in rackets. Dominic was scared and only said what he needed to not get, not to deal with Binger, and he should never have been charged. F. Thomas Claire Binger for charging either Dominic or Kyle. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Thank you, and like I said, thank you very much. And agree to disagree, and that's totally fine. We can do that here on the internet. Uncle Ted is perfectly reasonable. He's a very reasonable man. Um, Eric, Uncle Ted's cabin. uh, um, that's funny. That works out. Um, Panzer Dude, have I ever tried George Dickel's 13-year whiskey? No, no, I have not. I mean, I've had a bunch of different, glasses of whiskey or scotch or bourbon when I've been to, bars or bourbon rooms. Don't recall that specifically, but you've had like, 20-year Delamore or, like 20 some year Macallan. Those are some really good things. So had glasses of it, but no, don't have bottles myself. Yes, George Dickel, I know. um, oh, I'm not meaning to disparage Uncle Ted. He was totally correct about the dangers of technology, and he was. His book, Technological Slavery, I mean, if you read it and you don't look at your cell phone and say, geez, he was right. Um, I don't know what to tell you because he foresaw a lot of this. Um, and then yes, he was a victim of MK Ultra. I don't know how bad MK Ultra got to him because you never know how bad that person was from the start. But he he very likely that made him go crazy. was MK Ultra. So yeah, it is a shame what happened to him. Yeah, almost a lot of things Ted Kaczynski has talked about have come true, or we've gone down roads a little bit for. Oh, new member KTB. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate the support. Um, I am too. If Photo Chat took the time to tell Nick anything, sharing it's helpful to Dominic. Hmm, leave it alone. Oh no, not the TED Talk. Zachary Cruz, Nicholas Cruz's brother, is compelled to answer questions posed by prosecutors during depositions. Yeah, I mean that's. Remember, though, you always have the right to remain silent. You can invoke your Fifth Amendment right, and even if you are innocent of crimes, you can invoke your right to remain silent because you just have that right to do that. Now, presumably, Zachary Cruz was smart and went and worked with an attorney to figure out, okay, can I talk about this stuff or not? Um, yeah, the whole mail bombing thing wasn't very base, but his book, and like I said, his book Technological Slavery, um, was it's a eye-opening piece that talks about what kind of explains society right now, that it really is bad. Now, do I agree with the idea that we need to go back to like living in the woods and doing exactly like he does? No. But I do think he did have a point that technology has enslaved us a little bit. I mean, look at us here right now doing all this. Right, but it's hard to change society without killing people. Very true. Not disagreeing with you there. I'm just saying his answer to fix it, I don't know if is the right one, but he certainly pointed out the problem way ahead of his time. And I think he deserves credit for that. People have been visionaries. Um, People have been visionaries, don't always have all the answers, but the ideas, the problems they point out are sometimes important enough. Thanosing people. I mean, that's one way to put it. Thanosing people. Oof. Oh boy. Where is? Oh no, this is one I did want to touch on. And what do we have left? Um, what am I looking for here? I don't know what I am looking for. So we talked about Trump. What we also need to talk about? Oh, R. Kelly. So yes, our favorite guy, R. Kelly, was back in court today, um, facing his other trial. Um, and it didn't go very well. Um, there's all kinds of really bad stuff that happened to R. Kelly today. Um, yes, Mr. ICUP. Yes, there are a lot of problems with R. Kelly right now, and we'll just talk about this headline right here. Yeah, his former goddaughter testified and had sex with her hundreds of times as a minor. Uh yeah. Great job, R. Kelly. Oh boy. Um Yes, and then the woman known as Jane, this is the one where he videotaped her the P girl. If you guys remember Dave Chappelle and talking about the P girl, I want to pee on you. The girl who was the girl getting peed upon, Jane, a 37-year-old woman, testified that it was her he did that to. So, yeah, David Davidson, yes. I don't think I've seen you around, David, so welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, an oopsie. Yep, a big old oops. Um, More than the usual R. Kelly problems. Well, these are all the problems are coming home to roost. Yes. Doinking your goddaughter a bunch as a minor is a bad one, but the thing he was most important for, the peeing, which he actually stood trial for, all that back in Illinois courts for, he got acquitted on. The feds are going after him now. Drew Bradley, yeah, that officer is huge. Yeah, he's a big old guy. You know, he don't screw around. And R. Kelly's not a small guy himself. He's actually he's tall. And that dude's bigger than him. Um, I thought he's not trapped in the closet. um, Eric is, they didn't put Cain Velasquez in jail. They gave him a job as the court cop. Yeah. Um, that is true, Jim. R. Kelly's being treated how we should have treated anyone who went to Epstein Island. Now, as long as they get a fair trial, yes. But yes, they should be in shackles and figuring out what they did or didn't do. Didn't R. Kelly write a song called "I Admit" in response to accusations? Um, if you watch the Surviving R. Kelly, they talk about what they think that song was about. But yes, he supposedly talks about a lot of his crimes in a bunch of his songs and what he did and the sketchy things he's been accused of doing. Uncle Bubba saying is it illegal to pee on someone? When they're a 14-year-old, yes. Especially after they gave you a blowjob and they're 14 years old. That part's illegal. Otherwise, you can pee on adults. JC, officer, you going to eat that? So yeah, R. Kelly's been having a rough day. And the same woman, claims, and I want to show you guys this. I think it was some sort. What if they got stung by a jellyfish? Um, I don't know how many people get stung by a jellyfish on their face and went peed on their face, but I get it. You guys, you're thinking like a lawyer now. You're trying to come up with a defense. I like it. So pee on random adults. Well, no, I don't know if you want to do that. You might get your ass kicked. Chris Collins, I only pee on adults. Well, that's better. That's a start. CG, are there jellyfish in Chicago? At the aquarium, probably. But anyways, guys, if we keep going here, there's video of her and she testifies that he is giving her money on video before he has sex with her. And he videotaped everything because he was such a psychopath and he wanted to be in control and document everything. And yes, and his idea was that he could claim then she was a prostitute in the future. Yeah, and she claims that he had sex with her tons of times as a minor and used her to get other girls to come in. And if you guys watch Surviving R. Kelly, that was a very common tactic. He'd have girls bring in more girls. But that's also like Jeffrey Epstein with the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. The one girl was used to recruit another girl. So it happens. That's a very common way of doing things with child exploitation. Well, why did that move? So yes, they're claiming back in 2008 he paid her off so she wouldn't testify when he got acquitted of all his charges in Illinois. Who knows if that's true or not? But yes, now he faces a federal indictment for 13 counts in Chicago in the Northern District of Illinois for child pornography and obstruction of justice. Okay, and hey, Critter, thank you for sorting that out. I'll get a hold of Jim and we'll get that going. Um, damn, that's got to be. It's not the worst, but it's very bleak. There are some good. It does have some good endings to it though, and they made all of it before the trial happened. But there's a little bit of hope in that too. But yeah, good old God Almighty, R. Kelly is a savage when you watch that thing. He is not a nice man. If he paid her off, isn't that witness tampering? Yeah. Yep. But that would be at the state level. Um, he's already got, the very same things that had happened before, you know, violations of the Mann Act, child exploitation over state lines, obstructing justice, the cheese pizza charges. Those are all federal charges. He's got enough of them there. And he's already doing all that time that he's already facing. He's already serving his sentence out of New York. So out of the Southern District. So, this other court's taking a crack at him. It hits hard. Um, I don't know how artfully it was done. It's not, I mean, it's done very tastefully, given that it's a subject you can't really talk about tastefully. So, um, at least I think so, because it's a hard topic to talk about. Okay, Jim, we'll hook you up. We can get a hold of him. Anybody wants to get a hold of Jim in Discord? There you go. And he's a fibber. Um, Although Kelly can sing, I speculate he's mentally ill, as per he's 55 years old and somehow in his own mind. He thinks he's a teenager and won't admit it to himself, hence his personal desire. Sure, and there are multiple, like his brothers in the documentary, talk about the fact that they were sexually assaulted routinely as children. Yeah, sure, he's probably got some mental health issues, but at the end of the day, that doesn't excuse it. But yeah, he's got there's a lot of layers to his onion too, personally. Yeah, he gave Jane's dad a job as a backing artist on his record. Um, the max he's facing, he could face a life sentence. He'll probably receive a similar sentence to what he's got here when he got out of New York when he got the 30 years. But I mean, I don't know if it'll be consecutive. It probably will be. He's going to be doing a lot of time. Um, yeah, he doesn't have the same money that he used to have. So I think people were fed up and not scared of him anymore. Um, yes, the R. Kelly closet songs have a drip sound effect in them. Yes, he believed he could clear. He believed he could fly. Yeah, because I mean, for him, 30 years in prison, even if he serves most of it, he's gonna get out in his late 70s. So, he needs to face the wall. Well, I mean, you could put a map on the wall too. When you have everything, the things that are forbidden are the most desirable. Yeah, but he sounds like he was a predator already from the start, so it wasn't that much of an issue for him. So, yeah, yes, I know we touched on that before, and I know I did the stream the day he got convicted, but yes, Robert's having some problems right now. Um, and then this is one I did want to talk about. I don't know if you guys saw this. I forgot to put it in the description. Um, so the Wendy's employee sucker punched the guy and killed him with one punch. Um, yeah, it was whew. So this happened. A Wendy's employee has been charged with second-degree murder after he punched a elderly customer, and he died from one punch. A guy named Antoine Kendrick, and this is him here, got charged with second-degree murder when came around and punched a guy in an Arizona Wendy's because the guy complained about his food. Um, so yeah, punched the guy, hit his head on the ground, and went to sleep. And yes, here is a screenshot of him. Be sure to smash the like button for Sean. Thank you, I appreciate it. 67 is elderly. In most states, yes, if you're over the age of 65, that in Ohio, that's a cutoff line for victim status. If you happen to be over the age of 65, that's an enhanceable issue. In certain situations. But yeah, here we go. He's cranking up, and he's loading up right now, and just ooh. And then yeah. Oof. And I don't know, is there actual video of it? I'll have to see here. I'll have to look it up real quick. I thought there'd be video here. So oh, I guess actually hold on here. Does this show it? Come on. Nope, that doesn't show it here. Oh, it's on Real World. 65 plus does elderly. You are a senior citizen. Yeah, I mean, really, if you're collecting, I mean, you get to 60, you're like a senior citizen. I mean, you can get Social Security pretty much right away. Real World, how you doing? Bad review on Yelp for Wendy's. Yes. 7-Eleven, man, haven't seen you, but yes, purge the Xenos, the mutants and the heretics for the Emperor. So why did he hit the guy? I don't know. And I'm not really sure there's an acceptable answer there. So I mean, really, if you want to think about it. So that looks like the meme picture of Marge Simpson winding up in an uppercut like that. Yes. All right, guys, hold on here. We got the video. We got the video. Let's see. Let's get this going. Let's get this going.
Here at 9 tonight, we start with a brutal first-hand look at violence unfolding inside of a Wendy's.
Boom!
That was happening up in Prescott Valley. Police tell us tonight that they say one of those fast food workers actually knocked out a customer out cold after punching.
Yeah, here we go.
A customer was complaining about his food order.
The guy's complaining.
Seconds later, the Wendy's employee identified as Antoine Kendrick comes out from behind
look at
the
him come
counter
around.
and punches the man in the head, knocking him unconscious.
Oh, wow.
We'll rewind that again. Get some of that good footage there.
Kendrick
Mike Tyson
comes
punch-out
out from
style.
behind the counter and punches the man in the head, knocking him unconscious.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen to you at McDonald's.
Mike Tyson.
That would not happen to you at McDonald's. I can tell you that much. In a Burger King, they'll let you have it your way. But I guess not at Wendy's. Dave Thomas ain't putting up with that shit. So fucked up. Hopefully his noose is torn in prison. Oh, Harris, jeez. Why would the cashier do this? That's the cook's problem. Oh. He was late on his hat payments. Isn't this the same thing as the Dunkin' Donuts thing? Yeah, I remember that happening too. I mean, I think the Dunkin' Donuts one though, pretty sure isn't that the one where the old guy's kind of dropping like some N-bombs and stuff? I think that was part of the issue there. If I remember. Yeah, there's some allegations the guy had used some racial language, and I think he called somebody the N-word, which doesn't excuse it, but yeah. Let me see if we can see that one on video. I'm trying to find it. I can't find it right now, guys. But yeah, the one at Dunkin' Donuts, that guy, Do you think he's saying to himself, was it worth it? Yeah, that one. Yeah, I hope that guy thought it was worth it. Real quick though, I just saw something while I was searching for this. If you guys are going to be tuning in tonight, I would really encourage you to do so. There is a update for the Vic Mignogna case that I know a lot of you guys were involved with or followed along with. Moral of the story, avoid getting KO'd, be cool at home. Yes. Can they charge him a murder for that? Yeah. I mean, he intentionally tried to cause physical harm to that guy because it's clear he punched him and meant to do it because he came around the corner and, he telegraphed that. And yes, if you seriously injure somebody, you punch an old guy, there's some reasonable foreseeability you're going to severely injure them and or kill them, especially if they fall down and crack their noodle. Yeah, that's murder. I mean, that's murder. That'd be murder here in Ohio. There's some foreseeability in your actions. So these new fashion police policies are out of hand. What am I? What am I looking for here? Crap, what did I miss? I feel like my thing just scrolled along here. Did I miss something? Hellcat, that's the last time I saw you. Okay. Victor Lasagna. Yeah, I'm gonna bring that up. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna. Did I miss something somewhere? Where the heck did it? Why is this thing scrolling around too hard? Yeah, he hit him right in the side. Yeah. Bright Bull Photography. I don't think that the guy used the game. I don't think the guy used any racial words in this case in the Arizona one. I think this dude just didn't like, I mean, he probably just didn't like this guy giving him shit for things not being right. I mean, if there was some allegation that there was some, bad language that occurred, I'm thinking somebody would have brought it up. So, he refused to take off his hat indoors. Yes, you should take your hat off indoors. That's proper etiquette. Ooh. Hit the like button harder than he hit that guy. Yes. Yes. Venture energy onto the like button, not onto some old guy's skull. The hat removal services. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up, guys. This thing sucks when it jumps all over. Yes. Okay, we're gonna get to Whitey Bulger. Yes, we'll cover that. So what is up with Whitey Bulger? Okay, yeah, I forgot. That's on my list too. So Whitey Bulger, if you guys don't remember Whitey Bulger, he was basically the head of the Boston mob. He was a longtime mobster. Went on the lam for a really long time, disappeared. Was one of the FBI's most wanted for like 15 years till he got caught. In 2011, he got caught and basically sentenced to prison forever. If you watch The Departed, it kind of talks about Whitey Bulger a little bit because the Jack Nicholson character who's working as an FBI informant, Whitey Bulger was an FBI informant as he's running around killing and murdering people and raising hell all over Boston. The movie Black Mass with Johnny Depp in it does talk about his interactions with an FBI agent, FBI agent James Connolly, who basically wasn't able to control him. And when you're an FBI informant, you can't do crimes of violence. You're allowed to do little bitty things here and there, but you're not allowed to go and do all kinds of crazy stuff. If you watch The Sopranos, when a couple of those guys get flipped, you see how the agents handle them. Well, Connolly didn't do a good job at it and basically got roped into being one of Bulger's people on his payroll. And then a guy named Robert Mueller kind of came in and shushed everything up in the 80s. You may have heard of him. So anyway, Whitey Bulger is this guy here. Here's Whitey Bulger. I'll just show it because he's got a good picture of him. Here he is. This was him, and he was in federal prison. What happened to Whitey Bulger? It's actually interesting. They do have like some of his old mug shots from back in the day. Yeah, I've heard that he was supposedly an MK Ultra victim, but you know, he was back in the 50s. He was doing all kinds of stuff. So it's very interesting. You've been selected. No, I don't really want to be selected. Why won't this let me read? Yeah, we'll just use NBC. So back, he arrived at a federal prison in West Virginia, and he got beat to death. A bunch of dudes killed him, and it was less than 12 hours after he was there, which is correct. So it's not like that was an accident. So he got killed in 2018, and a couple of guys there were charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. But yes, he was beat to death. A lot of people think that the guys involved, these guys here, this first guy with, I'm thinking, Photos Gaius or Gias, that sounds like a Greek guy. Paul de Colergero and Sean McKinnon, good old Irish name in there finally after the Greek and Italian name. Were charged for killing him, and they beat him to death. Nobody knows for sure if it was a hit, but it smells like a hit. So yeah, goodbye, Whitey. That's what you get for being a snitch. That's what happens. Don't be snitching, guys. So the first guy, they claim that these people were involved by the New England Mafia, because the Mafia was the Italian Mafia and the Irish Mafia in New England didn't get along. It's not like in New York where the Italian Mafia controlled, the Irish Mafia did control Boston. So, yeah, so they finally charged those guys. I don't know why it took them almost 4 years to do it, but yes. 4 years to charge it after it happened at a federal prison. But hey, maybe, who knows why it took him that long? Who knows why it took him that long? Bulger was very intelligent for a bona fide back. Yeah, yes. Yep, he was. He was a very smart guy. Forever. Okay. I think I drive by where he's buried daily. Bulger was playing both sides. Oh yeah, totally he was. Did I miss something here? What? Okay, hold on here. Supposedly the ATF is going door to door looking for the FRT drop-in triggers. Doesn't surprise me. I mean, all that, they're going to take the customer list and go to look for everything. Does not surprise me at all. You are allowed to tell people to go into the Capitol building. He did the experiments to get reduced time, supposedly, while he was at Alcatraz. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. But, you know, once again, I mean, wasn't like he was already not going to do stuff. The more you know. You can only do crimes of violence if you are a full-fledged FBI agent. Okay. I'll leave that alone. Gabby, I work for the FBI. So much talk about here. Oh no. I gave a wrench to a Fed. I'm just kidding, Gabby. Looks like that one guy from the meme. Yes, it does. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the guards let them out in the open. Yeah. So. Oh, John Dillinger, that's the name he's right by. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Sweet Tooth. You're talking about it. Yes, Michael Francis. He's a former capo in the Colombo crime family. He has a YouTube channel. It's really good content. He does talk a lot about organized crime. And he's actually one of those guys. He went to prison over it. He went to prison over avoiding the federal gasoline tax, making a couple $1 million skimming untaxed gasoline and selling it. It's actually a really interesting story. He gets to talk about all the stuff throughout the 70s and 80s. I mean, all those things he talks about. He's a really good channel, Michael Francis. Plot twist, R. Kelly has jellyfish on his deck. Jeez. Oh. They had to know Whitey Bulger would have been at risk. I wonder why they let their guard down. The same reason why nobody was watching Jeffrey Epstein's cell. Oopsie, we just messed up. Oh, KTB. No, you don't have to apologize for anything. Thank you for anything and everything you do. I appreciate it. Where would the ATF be going, Linda? They have a customer list of all those drop-in triggers. They're gonna just take the customer list and distributors like, okay, you have this. Did you sell these? Who'd you go to? They're gonna collect all of them they can. Linda, the Chloe Herrick. That's so funny. Why no sex bots this time? I don't know. I'm very they ghosted us tonight. I mean, we're pretty much done here, guys. And the sex bots ghosted us. I mean, that's not cool. You know, they show up all the time and then they just, you can't do that to people. That's not fair. Leave us hanging like that. Is the ATF going to confiscate shoestrings and belt loops next? Don't give them ideas. Harris, never be the guy they want to beat the crap out of or snuggle with in prison. Yeah, you don't want to be either. You'll I'll be your sex bot. Thank you. I appreciate it. Bump and run. Yeah, that one is going to be interesting. That's the nurse in LA that flew through the intersections. I'm assuming she got drunk or she was trying to kill herself, because that's a scary one to watch. No, come on. The sex bots have learned they can't compete with you. I hope that is the case. So, guys, that's it. I mean, really, I think that we pretty much covered everything here tonight. I was surprised we blew through a bunch in 40 minutes, but then we got another hour and 10 minutes of some good filler, good quality content here. That's all we produce. What I was going to say is I didn't want to make it too obvious, but there is updates in the Vic Mignogna saga. Apparently, the decision for his appellate case was released. So if you guys follow Nick, he will be covering that tonight. And I probably will be following along because I'm curious to see what happened as well. Although if you read the title, it kind of gives it away. Wait, I'm not a sex bot? Well, my girlfriend thinks I am. I eat many Cheetos. That's what I'm talking about, Sue. You know. Launer, thank you for the super chat. The Optimus Joe edit will be on tomorrow. That'll be great. I'm glad you finally got a hold of it. Then I might make that disappear. But yeah, thank you to everybody tonight. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everybody. Members. Thank you, people who became members tonight. Thank everybody for super chats. And then finally, thank you to my mods, Parallax, Critter, Gabby, Jim. Didn't see Matt on tonight, but I hope he's doing well. And but yeah, my mods, you guys are awesome. You guys always do great. The Chloe signing off. No, I did a little bit at the beginning, just a little bit, not a whole ton. You were he was blind the whole time. So okay, yeah, I could 3 years to figure out they messed up. Oh yeah, I forgot. Matt is on vacation. Hope he's enjoying his vacation. But yeah, guys, thanks again, everybody, tonight, and we'll be at it soon again. And just remember, till next time, just because you did it does not mean you are guilty. Except for R. Kelly, yeah, you're toast. Guy in Arizona, yeah, you're not going to have a good day. Marcus Wilson, good luck. Dumpster Bros, good luck. Who'd I miss? I don't think I missed anybody else. So anyways, except for you guys are still golden.